Never waste a good crisis. And when it comes to the economic crisis, don't waste it when it can have a very positive impact.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
The way we're going to win over the long term is not just militarily. We've got to win over hearts and minds. And what that means is we've got to invest in countries that have no educational infrastructure, have no means for young people to get ahead. We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
Stay tuned for politics and religion.
Well, many people have been wondering for a long time if ultimately the United States, Israel, would be drawn into conflict with Iran or not. It appears this weekend they are coming closer than ever. Here's the story. U.S.-Israeli warships in the Suez may be prelude to face off with Iran. Egypt allowed at least one Israeli and 11 American warships to pass through the Suez Canal as an Iranian flotilla approached Gaza. Egypt closed the canal to protect the ships with thousands of soldiers, according to the British-based Arabic language newspaper Al-Quds Al-Arabi. One day prior to the report on Saturday, Voice of Israel government radio reported that Egyptian government denied an Israeli request not to allow the Iranian flotilla to use the Suez Canal to reach Gaza in violation of the Israeli sea embargo on the Hamas-controlled area. Now, they have a policy that the Suez Canal is open to all international traffic. Here's actually the policy. International agreements require Egypt to keep the Suez open, even for warships. But the Armada, led by the USS Truman, with 5,000 sailors and Marines, was the largest in years. Egypt closed the canal to fishing and other boats as the Armada moved through the strategic passageway that connects the Red and Mediterranean seas. So what we're having here, 11 American warships going through the Suez Canal, moving toward Iran. Israel already has a nuclear-equipped submarine in the area, and Iran is under that shadow. Now, Iran is saying, we're going to send this flotilla of ships and challenge the blockade. But it is now possible that the U.S. could stop those ships and check them because of the latest UN sanctions that have been leveled against Iran to see if they have material on those ships that is illegal. For example, they can check for weapons, they can check for nuclear material. Well, then what could happen if they do stop them? They could delay them for weeks on end and thus prevent the possible showdown between Israel and Iran, because that's really what's at stake here. With Iran taking this step to say we are going to send Iranian ships from an Iranian port to try to break the blockade into Gaza, this is producing a direct confrontation between Israel and Iran. So apparently the U.S. has decided, and it's a pretty big commitment, 11 warships. One ship alone, 5,000 soldiers on that ship. 11 warships now have moved toward Iran through the Suez Canal, sending a very unmistakable signal to Iran. Don't play games with us, because we are ready to challenge you. Now, the warships exercise the right to inspect the Iranian boat for illegal transport or weapons. Newsweek reported that Egyptian authorities could stop the ship for weeks using technicalities such as requiring that any official documents be translated from Farsi into Arabic. Of course, Farsi is the language of Iran, and they would insist that they be translated into Arabic so that they can be read by the American authorities. The magazine's website also reported that the Iranian Navy is the weakest part of its armed forces. Tehran has already backed down from announced intentions to escort the Iranian ships with volunteer Marines from the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. Originally, Iran had said that they would send the Revolutionary Guard on board of these ships that were attempting to run the blockade, but they now have backed down from that because they realize once they put Iranian troops on those boats, then this becomes an international incident and could very easily flare into war, which apparently Iran is not quite ready to do at this point. Israel has warned UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon that Israel will use force, if necessary, to stop the boats, one of which is carrying approximately 70 women passengers and crew organized by Hezbollah support Samara al-Hajj. Hezbollah has denied it is connected with the flotilla. However, al-Hajj met with Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah last month. Russian President Dmitry Medvedev sees the chance for a new world order with Russia as one of the major players. What does the Bible say about the future of Russia? Will Russia be an important part of the coming new world order? We'll see what the Bible says today on politics and religion.
Look, there are two things I don't discuss: politics and religion.
In my house, we don't talk about politics and we don't talk about religion.
I'll talk to you about anything except politics and religion.
I never talk about politics and religion.
Politics determines how we'll live here on earth. Religion determines how we'll live forever. I'm Irvin Baxter. I think it's time we talk about it.
I'll never forget when I had decided to start Endtime Magazine back in 1991. One of my minister friends looked at me and said, "You're starting a prophecy magazine?" Well, after 2 or 3 issues, what are you going to put in it? I knew right then that he didn't have a clue about the magnitude of the prophecies of the Bible. I didn't even bother to reply at the time. However, he would have really been astounded if he knew not only would we produce a bi-monthly magazine about end-time prophetic fulfillment, but that I would be on the air here every single day for 1 hour and always have more material that we can get to. Why?